Have you ever wished you could light up your entire studio with a single light? Or maybe you just like the idea of having a fixture that can throw as many lux on your face as the sun. Well, for both of those cases, as well as a vast array of other more artful and actually practical applications, Aputure has you covered with their new Lightstorm 600d Pro. And fun fact, this light is only at 50% power, and I'm shooting at f7.1. Let's get undone.
He's crazy. He's crazy.
What's happening, everybody? I'm Gerald Undone, and I shoot it in post. Alright, as usual, some disclosure. Aputure sent me this light to review, and as far as I know, I don't have to send it back. Aputure has not paid me to make this review, and they don't get any input on its production or get to see it before it's published. But I'll be the first to admit that this light does have a hefty price tag, nearly $1,900, so it's not as if nothing of value changed hands. But as I've explained in the past, I will do my best to review this product as objectively as possible and focus primarily on the facts. Fact number one is, this thing is powerful, essentially twice the output of the 300D Mark II, which is already overkill for most of the applications I throw at it. We're talking over 20,000 lux at 1 meter away from just the bare chip on the 600D Pro, and nearly 100,000 lux with this hyper reflector on. For some context, that's approaching the illuminance of the sun in good conditions at midday. So if you wanted to simulate that effect, you could. Or if you're feeling particularly outrageous, throw the Fresnel on there, and you're getting closer to 250,000 lux at 1 meter, and still over 10,000 lux at 5 meters away. So you can do stuff like this.
Renegade, renegade, renegade. Hello, TikTokers. Put a finger down if you're planning to. Gerald!
What's happening, everybody? I'm Gerald Undone, and I have a beginning and a middle, but no. So every once in a while, I'll be making a review for a product that starts to take on a more conventional structure.
Gerald! Come on!
Alright, but kidding aside, the main benefit of more output is the ability to modify the light in more interesting ways without reducing your luminance as much. So think outdoor night for day shots, or like I alluded to earlier, making a dark studio look like it was bathed in sunlight. But this new level of output requires a new control box, so let's go over that now. First off, running from the light head is this hefty 5-pin SF20 connector, which has a 10-foot or 3-meter cord to the control box. That connects here at the top of the control box, and then at the bottom, we have a 20-foot, 6-meter cord that runs the mains power. But the light can also be powered from either V-mount or gold mount batteries, depending on the model you choose. If you use 14.4 volt batteries, you'll only be able to run the light at half power. So if you want to run it at full power, you'll either need 26 volt batteries at 18 amps or 28.8 volt batteries at 16 amps. The control box can also charge your batteries when connected to mains power, as long as the unit is powered off or below at least 70% intensity when using the linear dimming curve. Because yes, this unit thankfully inherits the 300D Mark II's dimming curve selection options. You can also enable studio mode if you prefer to control the light from a master switch or breaker. There's also a fan adjustment, which right now is just an on-off setting, but I'm told this is going to be getting an update in March 2021 to clear up the language and provide a bit more functionality. The update will give you two modes, an auto mode, which will run the fan based on the cooling needed for the intensity you set as well as the ambient temperature, and then the other option will be the silent mode. Right now, off is the silent mode, which disables the fan, and if the light gets too hot, it'll just shut down. But I'm told the new silent mode will cap the light's output at 60 watts and allow it to run indefinitely with no fan at the reduced power setting. It's not extremely loud when on auto, probably just slightly louder than the 300D Mark II, but here, have a listen. The mic is here just out of frame, about a meter away, and I'm going to turn it up to 100% power. So this is what it sounds like, everything running at 100%. And this will be the worst of it because it's actually in line of the microphone too, which normally you would have them on the other side of the microphone. You can control the light in many different ways. You can use the knob and buttons on the control box, which are straightforward and pretty intuitive. It also has DMX 512 in and out ports on the bottom, as well as wireless DMX, ArtNet, and Ethernet. And the light also comes with Aputure's standard remote, which, throw me the remote. This one, which works with the older fixtures as well, and it can also be controlled using the Sidus Link app. There's no color controls using the app because this is a daylight only fixture, but it does have 8 built-in lighting effects similar to the ones that we've seen before, like faulty bulb, TV, lightning, etc. A couple more things about the control box. It has a fan in it, so you do have 2 sources of noise to consider. Overall, the sound isn't too bad, and it doesn't suffer from any of the whiny noise issues of the earlier Aputure control boxes, but it is something to be aware of. This is what the control box by itself sounds like without the fan making noise. So it kind of has a little bit of that, like, I don't know, electronic sound. But again, if this is on the ground out of the way, I don't think it'd be a big issue. And I like that they made the cord that runs from the light to the control box like 10 feet long, so you can create a decent amount of distance there. And it also comes with the lightning clamp that we saw on the 300D Mark II for easy attachments to a C-stand. So to this light stand right here, and then on the back of it, there's like a quick release plate essentially, and you just clip it in like that, and then it attaches. Now I'm just using sort of a heavy duty light stand, but keep in mind this whole outfit is pretty heavy and you would want to use probably a C-stand or at least the heaviest light stand that you have. This is already pretty shaky with one of these, you know, premium light stands, but it's better on a C-stand. Anyway, overall the build quality is great, solid construction, well thought out details. The lamp head, let me bring that back down to show you, has a curved handbrake locking yoke that allows for 360-degree rotation, and it has mounting support for dual junior and baby pin configurations. And like most of Aputure's COBs, it accepts Bowens mount modifiers. This is also Aputure's first light that I'm aware of to claim weather resistance. And they don't declare an official rating, but they do say it's capable of withstanding inclement weather conditions like dust, light rain, and water spray. Oh, and the control box has a 48 volt, 15 amp DC input on the bottom if you want to power it from an external battery station. Now, when it comes to photometrics, like most Aputure lights, it's quite good. It has a CRI and TLCI of 96 and a daylight SSI of 72. Color rendering is pleasing and very accurate. The only complaint I have is that it comes in a touch cooler than advertised. It's rated for 5600 Kelvin plus or minus 200, but I'm often getting readings in the 5900 to 6000 Kelvin range, so just slightly cooler than spec. But the green magenta shift was 0.1 green, meaning this light leans a little more magenta, which is probably a good thing for a new LED as they tend to green up a bit over time. So not perfect, but very good and no major complaints. Oh, and before I forget, Aputure is also launching this new lantern alongside this light. This is the Lantern 90, which is essentially just a much bigger version of their previous lantern, and it creates a really pleasing look. It works quite well for product lighting and even key lighting people, but what I found it most useful for was illuminating an entire space without much harshness. It's the one I was using in the beginning of the video. It delivers a welcoming, soft light to the entirety of my studio, really fun modifier. The only thing I don't like about it is that the rods often don't always deploy evenly spaced, like the smaller lantern does, so you have to push them around a bit sometimes to get them to space out correctly. No big deal, but I do find it to be a minor annoyance. And it comes with a skirt you can Velcro on to control the spill of your light. I also think it's important to consider the size and weight of this package, not the lantern, but the light kit. This whole kit weighs 18.2 kilos or 40 pounds, including the case. And that case is quite large, but very well made and definitely rugged enough to double as a stool if needed. And it also has wheels and a luggage handle that's hidden behind a flap. And if you use that case as a stool, it's not gonna be as squeaky as the stool I'm using. Hell, let's sit on it right now. Okay, not too bad. I'm a little bit lower in the frame than I was before, but at least it's not squeaking. Overall, I think this is a great light. It's Aputure's new flagship, and it's the brightest light in their lineup, and that pretty much says it all. It continues on Aputure's streak of improving and refining their products and adding value and innovation into the category. Obviously, this light is not for everyone, and it's going to be downright overkill for many, but for those that need the extra output for their creative purposes, I think you'll be quite happy with this light. Or like I alluded to earlier, making a dark studio like a scatterlap. That it comes in a touch cooler than advertised. It's rated for
Gerald!
By the way, this is a teleprompter remote. You guys always wonder why I'm just adjusting the teleprompter. A little bit lower in the frame than I was before. Why do I keep saying that? Than I was before.
Yeah, I think it's good.
It's rated for a little bit lower in the frame than I was before. But that's going to be it for me. I hope you found this video entertaining, or at least helpful. And if you did, make sure to leave the old thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already. But if you did not find this video helpful or entertaining, try setting the playback speed to 75%. Yeah, all right. I'm done.